Today, I want to start with a pop purpose segment. We have a new opening segment called Pop Purpose, and we want to talk a little bit about what's happening with the girl economy in 2023. I'm sure you know the success of the Barbie movie, Taylor Swift's Eras Tour, as well as what's been going on with Beyonce's Renaissance. The purchasing power of women is higher than it's ever been. Drea, why don't you introduce yourself to the podcast listeners, and then we'll go into a couple of our questions around today's pop culture topic on the girl economy.
Absolutely. Thank you for having me today. It's wonderful to speak to you. So excited to be here. I'm Drea DeMarchi. I'm founder of In Creative Co. And we are a branding and brand management agency that's powered by the Co Creative Collective.
Yeah, cool. I feel like everything you do is so dope. Like you're at the intersection of marketing, branding, sustainability. I really think you built a great company. So congratulations on that. And yes, we need your marketing expertise to break down what's been happening with Barbie, Beyonce, and Taylor Swift. The article that we read, or that I'm referencing, is an NPR article called The Girl Economy in 2023. And it discussed the rise of women's purchasing power and the support of Taylor Swift's Eras Tour and Beyonce's Renaissance Tour. The article also discusses the Barbie movie and its impact from a marketing standpoint. So I really want your expertise and your help in helping us to kind of break down what's happening in the culture, right? So let's talk about their collective impact and what it might mean for women, marketing, and beyond. So my first question for you is, did you attend the Eras Tour or Beyonce's Renaissance? If you did, or if you didn't, what do you think made these experiences so engaging and empowering for women?
I love that question. Unfortunately, I was not able to attend either. The prices for those tickets are way out of my league. They are very competitive. Anyone that was able to go, it's a huge blessing. And I think overall, as I read through the article and what I experienced firsthand from people who were going, is it truly showed the passion that women have, and that passion is what people saw the result of with those economic rises, which when women are passionate about something, they really double down. And when they double down, they go all in. And so that's what we saw firsthand, was that women's passions drove us to go all into making the Taylor Swift's candy or friendship bracelets. And then the other aspect of Beyonce having the call to action, I want us to be a disco ball. I want us to be dressed in silver and sequins. And then again, doubled down and really showed up and showed out. And that's what women do. Women are extremely passionate. And so that's what I saw firsthand. And that's the key, is to tap into women's passions.
Yeah. Woo, I love how you said that. First and foremost, I can relate. The prices were not entrepreneur friendly unless you are like a Bill Gates entrepreneur or a Jeff Bezos or Sarah Blakely entrepreneur. The prices were not really in many of our pay grades. But I do think I love the fact that you talked about the passion, and the fact that passion is really what makes these women stand out. And they translated that passion to their fan base. They translated that passion to those that support them. I'm sure you heard about Beyonce's mute challenge, and like, you better not speak when Beyonce says everybody on mute. And then Taylor Swift and people, trading friendship bracelets all the way from outside of the stadium. Like, I think you're right. Like, they translated that passion and that vision into their community, and the community spoke back to them. So I want to hear about that from a marketing or branding standpoint. What do you think activated women to support these tours in record numbers?
So they have a very strong fan base already before the tours. So they had an existing audience that were already considered brand loyalists. And they created a theme. And that's what they tapped into, was having the audience unite as a whole amongst a theme. So the theme of the friendship bracelets and like really dressing up for the whole Taylor Swift experience and making it an experience. And with that price point of that ticket, it has to be an experience for someone to justify it. Even if you love what it could be, you have to sell why it has that price tag. So they made it into a full-on experience. The Beyonce audience also had a full-on experience. And so they tapped into their brand loyalists, promised them an experience, and then showcased what that experience could be through a lot of targeted messages directly from the artists themselves. So they really pulled their audience in and had like Beyonce with the call to action, let's make this a disco ball. Let's make this into something that you've never seen before and will never see again. So the fact that they heard it directly from the all-star, the artists themselves, the brand loyalists, of course, were like, we have to do this. This is what they want. This is who we're going to see. So it had very strong messaging, and they gave the experience that they promised, and they created a community, like the community that was already there. They united that community, and that unification is necessary so that people feel like they're a part of something. And that's really the core of it. They want to feel like they're in with their people. They found their people. And that's spoken even without the tours. Like the tours are over there. Well, the Taylor Swift still has the international segment, but beyond the tours, you could see it in comments that aren't even in relevant to Taylor Swift stuff. I all of a sudden see a comment like Swifties unite, that these are my people, like just randomly. So they've really created a strong community for both of the artists, and then they pulled them in to have this experience with them. And it really amplified that message when the artists themselves spoke that and said, I'm here with you doing this too. Like we're all here together, and that they were a part of it as well. And that, I think, is why it was so successful, because they tapped into women's passions with all those key factors.
Yeah, you're saying a lot, and I want to tap into your marketing mind. So you gave us a couple of words, a couple of keywords, one of them being brand loyalists, right? Like these women have loyal fans. They actually have a brand that has sustained the test of time. You talked about Swifties Unite. Beyonce has the Beehive. She has the Hive, and she's the queen of the Hive. So all of these things are very, very strategic on their end, but also very brilliant. You also talked about price points, right? And I think that's also something important to highlight for the podcast. The price point has to lead to an experience. And I'm sure when we get into your story and you launching In Creative Co., a huge part of marketing is about creating experiences. I think we think of marketing as like Don Draper, Mad Men, just selling something or advertising. But no, it's an experience. Like today, it's social media and people tweeting, trending, TikToking. Like it's a whole omni-channel experience, literally. So I love how you gave us just that marketing like 101 college class energy. I really do love and appreciate that. And yes, you also talked about community and the importance of fostering a community. I think like today, now more than ever, people aren't just fans of Taylor Swift. They're a Swiftie. They're a part of her family. They're a part of what she does. The community aspect is super strong and powerful as well. All right. So with the Oscar snub, last question. I want to focus on what's happened with the Barbie Oscars snub. Not necessarily the Oscar snub, but I'm sure you've seen those trending comments. The Barbie movie also unlocked women in a whole new way. I went to the movie theaters. Everybody was wearing pink. Another like everybody do this to be a part of this thing. But I want to ask you a couple questions about that and see if your marketing mind can help us to understand what was so fantastic about it. So the question is, the article also refers to the Barbie movie and the record-breaking box office run it had. One thing that stood out to me and really to all of us was how powerful the marketing was. As a marketer yourself, what do you think made Barbie's marketing so captivating?
The partnerships. They partnered with an immense amount of companies where I would never even thought Barbie would have been a part of. And so they capitalized on partnerships that it felt like Barbie was literally everywhere. It encompassed the entire globe. It was everything on both social platforms and the internet. Even Google was draped in Barbie pink. it felt like we were engulfed into the Barbie world, not forever, but for a short amount of time. And that messaging was extremely loud. You couldn't escape it. Even if you weren't into seeing the movie, it was still everywhere. And that, I think, is why it was such a force.
Yeah, absolutely. So once again, code words, you're giving us a lot of things to think about. Messaging, that's huge, but also partnerships. Like, are there any brands that partnering with them can bolster your presence, can bolster what you're doing? I think that's super effective. All right, so I want to get into your background and I want to get into your story as well. Thank you for such a great pop purpose segment. You really brought all your A game to that. I think we're learning a lot about marketing. Hopefully, y'all were taking notes.